So this week we analyzed disaster in children and women and how they're affected most by disaster. And the most important terms this week was disaster and risk factors about like how they can solve them. One thing I found interesting from the readings was that there's over 70 million children that are 70 million children and women that are affected by disaster. I thought that number was very high. When I read that, I would have assumed that it would be like the total number of people by disaster. And I thought that was pretty interesting. The one article that we were reading, I thought it was interesting that the children were the ones that raised the questions in the community of how to solve impending disasters and how they had like tools and resources to help them prevent it. Like they knew that, we as humans cause many of the disasters on Earth by doing things like littering, and that was one of the things that they wanted to eliminate, and I thought that was very important, and I thought that was very bright that they realized that so quickly. Nothing was very muddy this time, but I do wonder, like how accurate these statistics are, because I'm not sure if that was quite an accurate number of children that are affected by disasters, because there's even homeless children, there's missing children that are affected by it. But I do think that these numbers are still very alarming. Let me see here. The bioterrorism article was interesting. It kind of reminded me of the Tylenol lacing murders back in the 80s, because you can call that biohazard. What else? I just think that the idea of resources is interesting because biohazards can happen so quickly. Like even like carbon monoxide in a building, like that isn't always easy to detect unless you have a carbon monoxide detector. So I think that's important, and it does kind of make me more aware of things that are happening around me, because anything can happen just so quickly. And what else? And just like your reaction time is very important. Like if you see a sign of something happening like bioterrorism or biohazards, it's important to report it and like evacuate quickly. And I think that a lot of people wait with that even now with hurricanes. Like a lot of people don't always evacuate their homes immediately, and that's what puts them in the face of disaster. And what else? That's kind of all that I saw from this week that really caught my eye. One question that I would open the response, that I open the class discussion with would be, what's one of the worst disasters other than Hurricane Katrina that has happened in our lifetime? So within the past 20 years, and that does not include 9/11. That's the question I asked the class if I ran a discussion.